Okay, so here's my bit on the Kamala. I knew it was gonna be just hilarious. This chick is literally. I mean, okay. Well, actually, I'm talking about two things. Wow, where are all the gang stalkers? They ain't taking out trash today. But anyway, one thing. Okay, I saw something. They're talking about the Seattle. They're defunding police and cutting the budget, and they're like, leave Seattle now. Some of the channels. And it's like, yeah, nah, stay where you at. Shit. Don't come across the country bringing, cause you know what I'm saying. I don't care what religion you are. If you're Christian, you don't have to suffer fools. And it's like, y'all, this not a natural disaster. It's how you got to pull together and help your fellow countrymen. I knew they'd be here somewhere, but like I said, just randomly driving. Like I said, nigga, this is a dead end. Why would you randomly just drive this way? Dumbass nigga. So anyway, it's not like it's a natural, when there's a hurricane or floods or, something like that, when the people cross country pitch in and donate. And you're like, but they're not even asking for donations. That ain't the point. The point is no sympathy. Y'all did this to you. You know what I'm saying? You had to know years, even before Trump wanted to run, Democrat policies did not work. How did I know that when I was young? You know what I'm saying? I was young and I was like, nah, this really, you know what I'm saying? So no, that means you were just caught. You phony. You was phony. You phony as hell. You was caught up in phony shit. You fell for all the that fake, just all of the fakeness. Each school year giving free haircuts. Some shit like that. That's supposed to assuage the black people. Oh, I'm a black business owner. I'm gonna donate. Come down to the park. I'm donating, book bags full of school supplies that really, if we all remember our school days, only lasted like the first week. You know, especially for little kids. So yeah, you go to school the first day, you got a new haircut and a book bag full of school supplies, pencils, and this and that, and you need more next week. Your haircut's grown back in. By the 2 weeks later, and they're poor. They're still poor. These types of people. Like I said, that and I couldn't believe they fell for it then. I didn't like that type of shit then. I'm like, why? Like I said, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. I didn't say that. I'm repeating the Bible. Teach a man to fish. Like they're kids. That's the point. You should be teaching their parents to fish, to be able to bring home fish every day on their own. Not nobody's saying cut off the funding for welfare and all that, but we're talking about how y'all brainwashing people with this bullshit. Oh, come to the park. Be on the radio, always the black radio station, and be right before school. Like if a school was in session right now. Oh, I got a video to do about that. You know, the how you seen the special needs teacher who's like, no, we need to be back in school. The doctors, there's no reason for none of this shit. Bullshit. It's like 99.7, and scientifically, kids aren't going to affect each other, and this and that. It's like, no, and then you still got people who are like, no, y'all are so stupid. Then quoting the numbers, 150,000 dead. And people are like, first of all, most of those people were old folks. Meaning, like I said, the life expectancy is only 78. And the numbers, their own numbers show the majority of them were at that age, 78. They would have, and first of all, their own deaths aren't even listed as COVID death from COVID, death with COVID. Meaning, and not only that, the head, whatever, Governor Newsom in California, Sunday, his female, the doctor, she had to resign because she stepped down because she botched all the 500,000 test cases. They didn't even, they just didn't get the numbers. Meaning, basically, the lockdown, there wasn't real science. It just was him, Newsom. They're trying to remove him, and the doctor, she stepped down in disgrace. I mean, this really happened. I mean, just bullshit. This whole COVID scam. These crazy. What is it? A Democrat crazy. What is their problem? It's not a fucking conspiracy theory. You literally can look your own self. You could look up. You could type in CDC numbers. You don't even have to listen to the news. Nobody. Neither news, right news, left news, conservative. You looked up the official numbers are on the website. You don't have to listen to nobody. But these niggas just the thing is embarrassing because it's like how you're supposed to be men and women. Even if you're only 18, you're still a grown man, and you're falling for this nonsense. Like I said, most of the shit, the reason I knew it was bullshit wasn't because of what somebody told me. It's from school. The shit that I learned in school. Grade school, middle school, science class, the shit you was stressing over trying to remember for that test coming up on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Studying for a test. That's the shit I remember months ago. Like, wait a minute, hell no. You know what I'm saying? A virus and, this and that. It's like, no, this is bullshit. Had nothing to do with any politician told me. Remember shit. Like, fuck, I gotta remember this and that, and what DNA stands for, and RNA, and ribonucleic acid, all this shit way back in my day, trying to remember for a fucking test in 7th grade. You're like, what does that have to RNA and DNA? I'm just saying, that same year, all this shit as you're learning 7th grade biology. But this was before DNA really became, right before. That's another thing. Weird, soon now, all of a sudden, a couple of years later, DNA became a big thing, with tests for kids. But it's like, damn, a couple of years ago, I'm trying to, remember this shit for a fucking test, what it stands for, what it is. Yeah, as soon as you get at the age, you might get somebody pregnant. No, I'm just joking. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna call her Crazy Kamala. She's doing a press conference yesterday, and that's the whole thing why people are talking about Democrats. She literally just lied. You don't have to be a Trump fan or none of that. The point is, like I said, I know from personally about what's going on because, yeah, I wouldn't, literally be in this apartment if it wasn't for the program. I don't mean just money-wise. I mean, I probably wouldn't have never. I didn't leave because I was, I got restless. Like, I'm tired. And once I, whatever, like, shit, whatever I did at the point when I moved up here, I didn't know exactly what was going on, but by that point, I definitely knew something was going on. I had more than enough evidence. Hell, they didn't raise up my benefits, all types of shit, just. So I'm like, fuck it, everybody else was moving. But, it did, a couple of years later, I find out, it's literally, so maybe it wasn't just restlessness. Yeah, maybe I did move here for a reason. But, yeah, again, that would make gang stalkers jealous. I mean, literally, I could literally be talking about a made-up deity, and they would get jealous because it shows that I think that I'm, something more special. I can say, the Lord High Loaf of Bread. That's his name. Who? Loaf of Bread. He's you know what I'm saying? He gave me power. I promise you, these motherfuckers would be jealous. They would literally be mad. Like, who the hell is the Lord High Loaf of Bread? If you remember remember that shit, what was that? What's happening? Remember Rerun joined that cult with Mother Nature, and it was a fucking goddamn thing of a head of lettuce, Ralph, Mother Nature, and Ralph. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers will be jealous. Not because I joined it. Exactly. Instead of thinking like, maybe trying to help me, you're in a cult, you need help, because they gonna take your money, it's just a scare. No, they would be mad. They probably would join. Not because they believe it, but for some reason, just that's how petty you see. But anyway, I'm going off subject. Uh, Kamala, right? She was like she brought up Ebola. She compared, and I got some stats. CDC. You see, most of us pissed with CDC because they, compliant with this lockdown shit, and CDC doctors should not be, pushing this bullshit. They know for a fact. Their own numbers show this lockdown and destroying the economy. Is bullshit. But and the kids, kids. Being at home, not going to school, all of that's bullshit. But anyway, use their own numbers. Okay, so if you watch it, I guess you could look it up. Her little speech. She invoked, because Joe Biden now is running for, but she invoked when he was vice, and if y'all remember, you're our age, you remember the Ebola virus. We had jokes. The little outbreak monkey. Remember that movie from the 90s? That's what I'm telling you. See, niggas in the hood ain't stupid. Why? Because they knew when that Ebola shit, they didn't just take it seriously, but they knew. How do you get Ebola? Through blood. Like AIDS. You have to be, that's what I'm saying. So this whole thing, the comparison she just made is bullshit, comparing it to this, not SARS, SARS, COVID. I was finna mix put a C, call it cars. Put SARS, it's like so-called, COVID is transmitted, cough, droplets, blah, 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 blah. Ebola, first of all, you have to be showing symptoms. And this is CDC website. And also, this is from years ago, before Trump was even president. That's why the comparison is bullshit. Before he even announced he was thinking about it. This is like when, so... you can't even say, oh, they're just lying, they just changed. It's like, no, because we remember, that was a joke. Oh, shit, that little Ebola, get that little Ebola virus, the outbreak monkey. Remember that movie with Cuba Gooding? I think that's the only one. Did he cry in that movie? Did he cry? Cuba, that nigga cry in every movie, But, why the nigga always crying? Shit. But, that little outbreak monkey. And remember how the lady got it, the female scientist, Dustin Hoffman's wife, because the beaker broke and it cut her. It's just like I said, we learned as kids, you can get AIDS, if you got a cut. And like I said, when we was trying to sound, I'm just talking about, it's about three of us. We're trying to sound intelligent and not childish, even though we're guys. I was talking about we're in the army, But when Magic tried to make a comeback, that's what we brought up. Like, nah, he really shouldn't, because even though basketball's not football, it is a contact sport. Anybody who played, you even if they wear mouth guards, so you elbow him, and his mouth guard falls out, and before they can stop the game, ref call whatever timeout because of the mouthpiece. I mean, yeah, this is maybe a rare, but it's the fact that it could happen. You can't let Magic play. I'm talking about back in the 90s. So, they getting in the paint and bam, he cut his elbow. Somebody else cut their elbow on Magic teeth. That spit. His spit is going because he broke the skin. That's how he could have contracted it. There's all this shit we learned in fucking middle school. Not about basketball. I'm just talking about how you would catch AIDS and this and that. Not even fucking high school. You learned that in middle school. Blood transfer. So this dummy yesterday is comparing SARS to Ebola. And first of all, the official numbers, there were only 18 people in the United States during that. It wasn't even an outbreak or a pandemic. 18 people. Look, here are the numbers. Look for yourself. Look for yourself. CDC. 4 patients diagnosed in the U.S. 11 treated in the U.S. First of all, like I said, if you had, so you the symptoms that come out if you're presenting symptoms and you got Ebola, because basically you can't give it to someone if you just have it. But it really is, it's fast, and that's a fact. I'm not repeating shit. Read it yourself. Look it up, type it in, type Ebola, Google it yourself. Don't take my word for it. So anyway, or whatever, go to the library and get a medical book, a real book, whatever. If you don't believe Google, but the library's closed, right? I don't know. Order a book off of eBay or Amazon, a medical book. But if it's that serious, but anyway, you have to. So and the symptoms, you're shitting, your little diarrhea, throwing up. That's when you can start, and probably more than likely you're gonna die. But that's when you can give it to somebody else. And so, how you gonna? I mean, maybe a healthcare worker with Ebola, but how a regular person? You gonna fuck someone who's transmit body? That's basically you would have had to do to catch Ebola, right? Sweat, spit, blood, bodily fluid, other air quotes. You know what other bodily fluids are. So why would she even bring up Ebola? And she like, well, with Joe Biden and Barack was president, they did their jobs. That's it. Basically a lie. Like people can't just look up in Google. And that's what we're saying. It has nothing to do with race. Has nothing to do with Trump being white. These motherfuckers are lying to your fucking face. It's saying stupid shit. Even if it ain't a lie, it's even worse. It's worse if it's not a lie. That means she's a fucking idiot. How did she graduate Howard University? I mean, matter of fact, how she ain't catch AIDS? Because she was a teen or in college when AIDS was at its height in the 80s, right? That's when she was in law school in California and Washington and D.C. in the early 80s when AIDS was rampant, and she was at that age of promiscuity. And she too stupid to know you catch AIDS, so obviously she's lying. She ain't stupid. She's not stupid. She's fucking lying. She knows how a virus like Ebola is transmitted. Not wearing a mask ain't gonna help you. Wearing gloves ain't gonna help you. That's not gonna fucking protect you. So the reason, why would you even bring up Ebola? That's the whole. So that means if you're voting for the Democrat ticket, that means you're literally just mad about something. I don't know. You're not even mad about George Kirby. You're not mad about none of that. You just I don't know. Like I said, to me, you got beat up in high school and you're mad at the whole world. That's what this whole thing is about. You want to punish other people for having a job, starting their own business, having a family, having kids. You want to punish everybody. You're jumping on the Antifa. And look who are the main members of Antifa. Lame white boys. That's Antifa. The ones who got beat up by the athletes, the white boy athletes in high school. That's my opinion. That's Antifa. So they join the group. The ones who would do a school shooting. Like Dylan Klebold. I mean, look up their history. Why they did that first Columbine. They had their little trench coat mafia, just them three dudes, because they got picked on. And I knew it back then. I wasn't in high school, no, obviously, but I was still, in my early 20s. I'm like, shit, they got, they wearing the golf kids. They golf or whatever, golf. They dudes, but they wear black lipstick and paint their fingernails black and just all moody. And, nobody, they don't get invited to the parties. The cheerleaders make fun of them, all the girls, and, whatever. And so they want to shoot. And that's the shit that we're talking about. We can't talk, well, I can, but other people who believe that if they're, a celebrity and they might believe like that basically these kids need some kind of, I don't know, guidance, a foot in their ass, but they don't want to say it because you're blaming the victims. Not even the victims that got shot. Yeah, we got to stop bullying. Like Chris Rock said, shit, we need to bring back, but what was his joke? He said he was going to go, his daughters take him to a school, and the teachers bragged about, we've eradicated bullying. And he's like, hell no, but they need to be in the school where you get bullied. We took the bullies out. We removed the natural predators. I'm joking. That, what I'm saying? Everybody know, and now that's what you got. A bunch of grown-ass crybabies laying in the street. Don't even care about, black lives. I ain't talking about the group. I'm talking about literal black lives. Like everybody had pointed out, the Black Lives Matter is a bunch of white people, in Antifa. And that like they, like I said, they took all the bullies out, and now, you got a bunch of 20-year-olds and all this shit just throwing temper tantrums, And like I said, Kamala said that dumb shit, and people are like, oh, then you got the black women, especially some of the professionals. It's like you're literally. I know y'all are mothers. I don't care. So you got to put your pride aside. Oh, there's a black guy. So, cause one of them on MSNBC, she's like, well, I'm just happy they picked a black woman. She literally said this. Look it up. I think it was MSNBC. You'll see her. She said, I just want to be seen. We're being seen. We're finally being seen. So you're going to throw away your life, your kids' life, your grandchildren's life, just to have a Indian have whatever the fuck she is in office. Just like Barack Obama, these half-breeds in office. I'm like, it's like, but thankfully she's doing a hell of a job herself. All this every day. It's been for she's all this dumb shit. She didn't, her own people turned on her, on Joe because she's a cop, former prosecutor. And then they got on video, when she was with Solomon, whatever the guy, and laughing about how she smoked weed. And then they're trying to play it off. You kind of see where they want to go with it. Well, she was in college. It don't matter. You putting people in jail for and actually the thing was, it was just each one that she sent to prison, they were saying were just personal amounts. Maybe a dime bag, I would guess, if they're saying it was personal amounts. And so that means she was smoking a joint. And y'all are gonna. I thought y'all was so with black men, and again, like I said, you got sons. You want to put this person in office. That's why they call y'all deranged. Deranged. You have to be deranged. You just literally so mad at that dude Trump that y'all would literally vote for it. Just crazy. I don't know. I don't know what's going. We people are like, but thankfully, like I said, they're doing good enough job themselves. But my whole point really is, like I said, I know this is, part of this whole program, and now I see, and like I said, I've been showing you how on a local. So yeah, the people watching this video, yeah, the neighbors might be. I mean, like I said, it's obvious. They make it. They have to. It won't work if they don't do things to make you notice them. That's the whole point. You're supposed to be like, wait a minute, and they're total strangers, right? That's why because otherwise, if you just went on about your life, you wouldn't notice. They can't gaslight you if you don't notice them. So that's why they do all that shit. They bright you, follow you behind in your car, or if you're walking, or they come behind you. All this shit. So you'll know this whole program, like I said, is worldwide. But like I said, it was the irony is that basically, even though I've been fighting these motherfuckers for decades, it's about to be over, and you can see that it's like they really, and I really, like I said, I found out what it was, the name, and got information about it in 2016, 4 years later, and like I said, at that point, I saw Trump was running, but I did notice that they didn't have anything except for just nonsense. We just don't like him. Oh, this and that happened. Oh, he supposedly the porn, he cheated. All this, but anybody who if you remember, Martin Luther King, they all had this and that, JFK, but the point was he wasn't even president yet. He wasn't, and so that was but the really made you understand that something was going on, and they were panicking because they didn't have anything, to say political, like or about anybody, Clinton's view, none of that, none of the things they were going to do or change or fix. Neither one of them, none of them. And so you knew, right? I knew, like, okay, this is something. This guy, he's got these people scared, It didn't a lot of them were lies, and it was more trying to be like the cool thing, like, who is he anyway? Like, that's how you vote for president. If he's cool, or I don't even know him, and then they're like, you're lying, because like I said, if you're my age, you remember back in the early '90s, that's all the rappers used to talk about. The gangster rappers, it wouldn't be like Trump. They all love Trump. That's like, well, how in the fuck y'all don't even know who he is? And why are y'all so mad, but y'all used to love him back in the day? And I know I remember him before that, because I do remember when he was, the Trump Towers and all that, and a couple of bankruptcies and shit like that. And just like you remember, if you really know what bankruptcy is, it doesn't mean they really fucked up. It's just something that just things went wrong, just like in your life. And hell, motherfuckers that been hip, they got mad about that. I really didn't know at the time, because someone had really explained to me when I was in my 20s what bankruptcy was, and how people were doing it all the time. Just regular people. And they were like, and all of a sudden you see them in a new car. Basically some people would say they're stupid, because you just relieved all your debt. And then the car companies or whatever, they get the public records, and they start, sending you mail. Oh yeah, come finance a new car. Why? Because they know you ain't got no more bills. You just filed bankruptcy. At least, credit card, either chapter 11 or chapter whatever, total bankruptcy, or either you made a payment plan. All right. So anyway, it's one of those things. That was one of those things that white folks was doing for years, and black folks. What I'm saying, they did. It wasn't. I'm not on white people's side. They didn't keep it a secret. You just didn't ask. I think that's really. And then when you did find out about it, you got scared. And there go is that a garbage bag? Yeah, black. You got scared like it was some kind of something. A scam, but you're literally just filing bankruptcy for debt relief. They got to go over your records. They got to find out, all this and that, your debt to income ratio. And you got, you either do it yourself or you pay a lawyer. And these dumb niggas thought it was some kind of scam or cheating the system. And then they would have to convince them, say, oh, well, white people been to it, because it's not cheating the system, dummy. It's the fucking law. That's what we try to tell, like this dumb nigga right here. You just learn the law. That's all we be trying to tell you. You don't have to be fighting and get off me, Mr. Officer, and all that shit, acting like George Kirby. If you know your rights and you don't have, and matter, that's what I be, all the ones that got into trouble or shot or choked. Each situation, if I was in that situation, I hate to use the word comply because they hate that, but it's not even complying. You got your ID on you. Why you asking me my ID, Mr. Officer? I got a right to be out here. No, I would be like, yeah, like I said, I almost would want to hit him in the forehead. Psh, there's my fucking ID. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't do, you ain't gonna do that. But I'm happy. Like, yeah, nigga, shit, I got a fucking, nigga, I ain't got no warrants. Shit, whatever, nigga, I'm chilling. More than likely, they gonna go on about their way. Because, first of all, most of us, we know a spot we're not loitering. You're downtown. Because most of us don't chill in spots where you can't loiter. Yeah, I don't know nobody who chills in spots where you can't loiter. If I'm sitting somewhere, I'm either waiting on a bus or waiting on a ride, a taxi or Uber, or somebody to pick me up or whatever. But I've never been just chilling somewhere and been harassed, I guess because I got money.